Hey, good morning all. Hope you're all having a fantastic Friday. So today, a little bit more of a special stream. We're doing 3 years being on Twitch, so we're doing a special stream today for Sous Vide steak. So we've got the Sous Vide machine, I've got the vac pack, so I'm going to do up some nice little beautiful ribeyes. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Also, we're going to serve it with some crinkle cut. I say chips, but they're going to be a little bit different. So having the whole potato, we're going to wash it, skin on, and then just cut it with a crinkle cutter straight down into nice little cylinders. So we're going to do that. We're going to oven bake them, with a little bit of paprika, some oil. We're also going to do some onion rings, and then also I'm going to show you guys how to make some delicious bearnaise sauce as well. Also, so I vac packed one of the steaks this morning because this is a brand new machine. I wanted to try it out. So a little bit of thyme, a little bit of garlic in here, and a little touch of olive oil, as you can see. So we vac packed this down, so absolutely beautiful. I've got another steak I'm going to vac pack right now, so we can get that on the go. So should take about an hour and a half, I believe, for medium rare. The great thing with my Sous Vide machine, it's actually got an app which actually tells me. I was going to pull out my Sous Vide chart when I got it, and I was like, I don't need it. The app actually calculates it for you, weighs it for you, and it also gives you the correct time and how you want it cooked, whether you want it medium rare, rare. Now when it comes to like vac pack in, and you've got a little touch of liquid in there, what you want to do is pretty much basically watch it as it goes up, and as soon as it hits near like the top of the seal it, so you don't have any drips coming out. And that's the great thing when you're cooking meats as well in Sous Vide, right? Because it's a concentrated temperature at the same at a controlled temperature, sorry, so it'll actually cook through the meat nice and evenly, whereas like if you cook the steak in the pan, yeah, it's super good, it's tasty, but you'll actually get like a little bit that's overcooked on the outside, whereas this will be perfectly cooked all the way through, taken out, just a quick seal, and you've got yourself a beautiful steak. So it's actually very, very, very good for also not reducing any loss. What do you mean loss? So what I mean by that is there's no shrinkage, so technically you're actually gaining wastage by it shrinking if you cook it in the pan. So you actually gain more meat. The meat doesn't shrink. So I can actually put the Sous Vide here on the stove, so if you want to watch it, we can do. So I'm just setting it aside though. I'm not a huge fan of putting it above these rings, just in case I'm a plonker and I put it on and then melt the plastic container. So yeah. And if you say, chef, move the camera, I do not want to touch that camera. You do not want to know how long it took me to get it nice like this. And the great thing with this as well, it wasn't actually that expensive, and I've got another one here that I haven't even opened. So eventually, when this eventually gets blunt, I've actually got another one, and I think it was like a couple of bucks. It wasn't much. I think it might even be on my Amazon equipment list on my channel. So, but yeah, super nice to have. So we're gonna have a nice little kind of thick cut. We're gonna pre-blanch these in the water. So I'm not gonna go too crazy with these. Don't want to go too thick. Also, let's make sure we get the right thickness here. Exactly the same as doing fries or chips. You want to kind of pre-blanch these. So you're going to cook them. I'm going to bring them up to the boil, and they're going to take, I'd say, about 5-10 minutes, maybe 15. And chef, how do you know? So how do I know when they're ready? So when I take them out to a point where they're soft, but they're not falling apart or turning into mashed potato, they're still holding their shape, but if you put enough pressure, they're just going to, break in half. So that's what you want to take them to. So super important. So we're going to put them onto the stove. I'm going to add a little touch of salt to them as well. I'm not going to go crazy. So let me just flick this across for you guys and gals. The thing with this app, it'll give you like pork, game, what else we got in there? Beef, poultry, lamb, seafood, vegetables. So you basically, you find what you want. So we're going to go for beef, obviously. And then obviously you got all the different joints on here. So you can choose from all sorts of stuff, from brisket to burgers to steak. So we just want to do basic steak, nothing too crazy. So what we're going to do, is set the temperature. So it also as well tells you, like, you can give you ideas of like different ingredients. So you can put like thyme in there, some garlic, fresh bay leaf, salt, pepper, olive oil, butter for searing. And it'll even tell you how to cook it, right? Even though we don't really need this, but for people who are beginning, it's actually a really good app. So Also tells you like how to protect your work surface as well, making sure that you don't have it on and it's not going to burn the bottom when it's cooking, how it's going to be cooking. So it shows you the steps on what you need to do. So it gives you even a guide what you need to do. So what we're going to do is set the temperature. So you can have it. So we're going to have medium rare. You can even go for like rare if you wanted to. So it'll show you like, do you want it on rare? Do you want it? Very rare, rare, medium rare, medium well, well done, and then very well done. So now we don't want well done. And obviously it's giving me the temperature in Celsius here. So we want to go for, I would say, we're going to go for medium rare for today. So that's how it's going to come out. So what we're going to do, set the time. So it'll also ask you, so how thick is the steak? So it'll ask you next, like, what are you going to have past the steak? So we're looking, so let me grab the steaks out and have a look. 2 seconds. So roughly about a couple of centimeters is our beautiful steak. So I'd say, yeah, it's roughly a couple of centimeters. So would you say that's about 5 centimeters? No. I'd say it's about 3 centimeters. So they've got here 2.5 or 3.8. I'm going to go for 2.5. If we need a little touch longer, that'll be fine. It's going to take an hour. The other one's an hour and a half. So, yeah, let's go for an hour. And if I feel like it does need longer, we can put it an hour and 15. So that should be about right. So I'm going to go to start it. So that's going to start heating up now. Enable, yeah, that's fine. Okay. So as you can see here, it'll start heating up. So it's starting to heat up now. And once it gets to the temperature, then you press start. And then you can drop your meat in and it'll get to the right temperature. So that's heating up now. So fantastic. So that's going good. So I'm just going to wait till that brings up to temperature. It'll give me an alert to tell me when it's up to temperature. So fantastic. So what we're going to do is just take the skins off. So I'm just going to be very careful just to not trim too much off on it. Just going to be just very, very carefully just open this up. Right. So now depending on how thick you want them, whether you want them thin or whether you want them thick, I'm going to go for thick. So, and what we're going to do is just kind of push open these rings. Just to open them up. And keep the middles. We can like kind of, I might keep these as well. I'm going to pop them into a bowl. I can actually use them tomorrow for the stir fry. So, right. So that's all my flour there. So even if I don't get all of them done, that's fine. But I'll buy some more. Let me write corn flour down on my list. I appreciate it. Right. So let's give that a little mix. We're also going to have a little pinch of salt in there as well. So I'm going to go for about a teaspoon of cayenne. Don't want to go too crazy on the cayenne. And then about half a teaspoon of cumin. So we're just basically going to thin this down. So this is a great thing. If you haven't got buttermilk, it's a great alternative if you haven't got buttermilk. Okay, so 1 teaspoon. Half a teaspoon of cumin. And I'm going to go for about 2 teaspoons. I went for 3 in the flour, but 1, 2 will be plenty. So they've been steaming nicely. Yeah, I don't want to kind of, the problem is, you think, oh, that's enough room, chef. You don't really want to kind of squash these on. So, alrighty. So, as you can see, this is how soft they are, right? You want them kind of almost like kind of falling apart. We're going to coat these in a little touch of oil. We're not going to go too crazy with this. So, about a tablespoon. So, there we go. I'll go too bonkers with this. And then we're just going to add a little touch of paprika. Considering we got spicy onion rings already, I'm not going to go too crazy with it. So, also we need to salt these. I salted the water before. I didn't go too crazy with it, so just a little bit more on here. That should be fine. I don't go too salty on that. Let's drop this in. Beautiful. We'll start the timer. So, beautiful. So it'll be ready in an hour. I'm going to give this an extra 15 because it didn't have the correct weight or measurements for me. So I'm just going to give that another 15 on the hour, and then I'm going to take it out. So that's fantastic. So that's melting down very nicely, very steadily and slowly, so we're good. So I'm just going to fill it around about here, and then they're going to deep fry the onion rings. So just a little touch of thyme. What else do I want? The black pepper, and then obviously a little bit of lemon juice I can add afterwards. So I'm just going to add the vinegar. So I technically want about 2 tablespoons of vinegar for this. So we need a little pan, which is there, but I've got another little pan here somewhere. Okay, so we've got the onions in there. We're going to add a little bit of Medina vinegar as well. You can use white wine vinegar, whichever vinegar you kind of prefer, to be honest with you. Apple cider. So it's 1, and it's 2. I'm going to go for 3. Just want to reduce that a little touch. This is a mixed medley of like peppercorns from red, black, green, white. So just going to pop a little bit of this in here. That's on now. Keep an eye on it. It's going to reduce probably by 1/4, and then we're going to take it off. Up. Right, so let's have a look. How are we looking? Yeah, we're looking good. So those beautiful onion rings are turning out absolutely fantastic. Beautiful, crunchy. Just what you want, right? So this is a buttermilk onion ring. You can do a beer batter onion ring. They come out absolutely beautiful, but yeah, I'm super happy with these buttermilk onion rings. They've certainly come out really nice. Look at that chicken snot. There we go. Beautiful, so let's pop that in there. So, we've got our reduction for our vinegar, our peppercorns, a little bit of thyme in there. So, what I'm going to do... Oof, Gordon Bennett nearly fell over then. Just drain that off straight into with the eggs. Also going to add a little touch of lemon juice as well. I want about roughly a tablespoon. Yeah, about a tablespoon of lemon juice in here as well. So I'm just going to give this a nice little whisk up. So we got a nice little kind of eggy, watery mixture here, or reduction mixture. And then what we're going to do is just pretty much put this over the simmering water. So you basically want to kind of gently cook the eggs out until it starts to thicken, and then we're going to start adding the clarified butter to this. Once it's done, once it's got to the right consistency as well, we're going to season it afterwards and then add the tarragon as well. Okay, so this is cooking out very nicely, so it's thickening up. I'm going to start adding the butter very shortly. I just want to cook this out a little touch more, just a little touch more. Stir, whisk it consistently, and just very gently pour in that clarified butter. I'm just careful I don't get the milk solids in there, so just be super careful with it. Pretty much, that's the consistency you're looking for. So that beautiful, just pretty much like a mayonnaise consistency. It's nice and buttery. Now we want to keep this nice and warm, so I'm going to put this over here on the stove. What I'm going to do, chop up a little bit of tarragon as well. Just finally dice this up. That beautiful steak. Oh yes. It's actually not cold, it's actually still nice and warm, so perfect. I'm just pulling off the thyme. That beautiful garlic. Oh my goodness me, it smells absolutely divine. So what I'm going to do as well, oh, this feels super, super tender, so let me just set this aside a second. Now if I was making a sauce, you see all that juice in there, I'd pour it into if I was making a gravy or a rich sauce. I'm not going to pour it into the hollandaise, definitely not. But if I was making like a rich sauce, I'd probably use the juice from there straight in to the gravy as well. Right, so beautiful sizzle. You don't want to cook this for long, but you do want to get a nice color on it, right? So just a little bit of that clarified butter. Beautiful. So, so good. Chef, where's the chips going to go? Good point. Good point. I'll figure that out in a second. I'm only going to have a few on there anyway, so... Look at that, amigos. Absolutely delightful. Delicious. So there you go, there's your sous vide steak. So cook for about 1 hour on, was it 65? I've totally forgotten the temperature now. No, 54 Celsius. 54 Celsius, sorry. Which in Fahrenheit, I'm sure you're going to work it out. We also did the buttermilk onion rings. So the flour, salt, a little bit of paprika, cumin, and cayenne, and also in the buttermilk. But technically, it was just yogurt watered down. So dipped in there into a hot oil, cooked down till nice, super crispy. Dead simple, dead easy. The chips, we crinkle cut them, we boiled them, then we drained them, and then we baked them in paprika and also salt and a little touch of pepper and a bit of oil. And then obviously the bearnaise sauce, like a straightforward hollandaise. With a bit touch of tarragon, so we reduced the onions with a bit of black pepper, or the peppercorn mix, sorry, lemon juice and vinegar. Touch of water in there, then 3 egg yolks whisked over on a bain-marie, cooking out those eggs, and then afterwards add in the clarified butter, little by little, until you had the right consistency, diced up tarragon, and that was pretty much it. So yeah, super, super happy, fantastic. But anyway, thank you so much for all the huge love and support today, amigos, for the 3 years. 3 years love, goodness me. I can't believe I've been on here for 3 years now. But I appreciate all that support. And we'll be back on Tuesday. Monday I'll be doing my YouTube content. So keep an eye out for that video on Discord. Have a great weekend. And I'll hope to see you again Tuesday at 10 AM Mountain Time. But have a great weekend all. Thank you so much for the love today. And I'll see you Tuesday. Much loves. Thanks again. And bye for now.